So, been a while. Now, all jokes aside, you'll never believe it, we're talking about Naruto 5e again, okay? Now, I'm getting back in, I'm getting going. At the end of the video, I'm going to have a section talking about my kind of stuff, where I've been, what I've been doing, why I haven't been uploading, all those kinds of things. If you're interested, you can wait. And if not, let's talk about some new Naruto 5e clans that are beyond exciting. So for those of you that don't know, they talked about how they're going to put some new clans into the book. Now these clans, if you are big into Naruto 5e, especially if you've dug into the homebrew before, you're probably going to recognize a lot of these. A lot of these are clans that were already in homebrew, but that were well designed, well managed, and well received, and for the most part well balanced as well. I mean, nothing in Naruto 5e frankly is really all that balanced, but as balanced as it can be for wizard ninjas that can run around and do almost anything. So as for today, how in depth are we getting? Well, to be honest, not very. I'm gonna go through every single new clan, which as you can see is quite a lot of them, and kind of talk about what they can do, what they're good at, what their main purpose is, and very baseline stuff. I may make future videos where it's a little more in depth, but for now we're staying pretty base level. Now, as for what you're gonna see, it's not all Naruto clans. Some of these are from different anime, some of these are from different games, and that's something that I actually really enjoy and I'm really happy they're doing, is accepting some of the homebrew that aren't just Naruto. Since Naruto 5e is a fan project and it's not like some officially licensed thing, it allows them to just do whatever is fun and just put in the game whatever you want. And if in your Naruto game you're a little bit of a purist and you don't want, you know, non-Naruto clans in the game, you don't have to. These are just options. You know, you can tell your players, hey, I want to keep it canonical to Naruto clans. But hey, that's completely up to you, and I digress. Let's go ahead and hop into our first one. So first up here we have the Chinoike Clan, and these, if you don't know, appear late Shippuden. It's like 480-ish something episodes, it's something like that. And these guys, I love them because they're all about blood powers, and I always find blood powers to be very cool. It's a very interesting aspect. Again, I'm not going to dive super in-depth, but to give you the overview, it is a dojutsu style clan, similar to the Uchihas where you get a Sharingan. With these guys, you get the, how do you pronounce this? The Ketsurugan, as we're gonna call it, and you have a lot of bleeding interactions where you're more resistant. You can apply it a little easier, and one thing to note that I really like is their jutsus are very versatile. They have things like bloodletting weaponry, which allow you to lean into being a weapon-based class. Then they have your kind of, you know, more normal ninjutsus and genjutsus, so you can be more of an offensive, you know, range damage dealer. Lots of options, lots of cool stuff. Highly recommend. I would look into this one, especially if you like blood powers. Now next up we have the Fushin Clan. These guys, if again you're not aware, actually funnily enough show up in the same arc that our last ones that we talked about do. And the Fushin Clan, while not quite as versatile in the sense of you're probably going to be filed into, you know, one type of build, obviously you can make anything work in this system, but if you want it to be optimized, you're probably going to want to go ninjutsu specialist. But nonetheless, they are very fun. It is all about Winjutsus. All of their stuff, everything is all about making your Winjutsus as crazy and as powerful as possible. So if you want to be a speedy person running around throwing out Winjutsus like it's your job, this is going to be your pick. It's fairly straightforward, nothing too much to think about. So up next is the Genwa Clan. This one is a completely custom homebrew clan. You're probably going to notice it does take some things from other places, but it's not directly from Naruto. Now, a few things I want to make note about this clan before you decide to go into it. One, if you don't like reading the books very much, don't pick the Genwa Clan. I will just start scrolling. You will see, this is before we even get to jutsus. You got a bunch of data channels to choose from. Every single jutsu is more than likely at least 2 to 3 paragraphs, if not a lot more. I mean, we got like a whole Data Angel Demon summon that you can do. So if you don't like reading through stuff, I wouldn't go with these guys. But if you are willing to read through, they are a very cool, very fun clan. The only other caveat is they are a data-driven clan. They're like a glitchy data people. That's what they do. That's their power. So more than likely, this is going to have to be in a campaign that's probably more towards the Boruto era, where they actually have, you know, data links and different things of that nature. So something to keep in mind. But overall, a very fun but a very complicated class that you're going to have to dig into a little bit, or clan rather. Now to get on the complete opposite end of the spectrum as the Genwa Clan, if you can see the picture at the bottom right there, this is the Sakura Clan, the Haruno Clan. While she didn't necessarily come from like a long line of really powerful fighters, at least to our knowledge of the Naruto world, this is what represents her. So if you want a strength-based healer that can throw out some hard punches, this is what you want to go with. It's also really important to note, and one thing that I think does make this class very fun, is once you hit level 3 up here at the top, I'll have to stop moving my mouse so that goes away. With Powerful Medicine, your medical ninjutsu can use your strength modifier instead of your intelligence. So it's kind of gross. It's yeah, no, it's kind of disgusting, actually. It's really fun to just build a really strengthy person and then all of a sudden be healing all your friends. So hey, if that sounds fun, go for it. So up next we have the Hoshi Clan, which show up in like episode 180-ish in Naruto. This clan in particular are early game machines, which is kind of a weird thing, especially seeing as things scale so fast in Naruto 5e in general. But without getting too in depth, they get access to a whole new type of chakra pool that they can use to cast their clan jutsus at level 1. Not only that, but at level 1, they are the class that can use their constitution instead of intelligence for their haijutsu, which I actually think is an ability that really shouldn't be in very many clans in this system, because Constitution is already so powerful in this system. But nonetheless, if you want to pause through and read some of the jutsus, you can, and if you start reading through these D-rank jutsus, you will probably see pretty quickly why I feel the way that I do, because not only is it pretty cheap for a pretty good amount of damage, but there's also the alternate star chakra cost, which you regenerate on short rest. So anyway, without getting too in depth, very, very good early game clan. If you know your game isn't going to go super high in levels and you kind of want to cheese out a pretty powerful character, this is probably going to be a pretty good way to do it. And next we have the Iburi Clan, is how I'm going to choose to pronounce this. These guys show up in, I believe it's like 350s of Naruto Shippuden, somewhere in that range. And for these, the kind of cool, unique thing is, one, they're not just fire people, because I know that's what it looks like, so you might think, oh, another kind of Shakuton clone. Rather, these are the people that turn into smoke. So kind of the cool concept of these people is they have the ability to make their bodies turn into smoke. And it does talk about here how used to that was a problem because, you know, they couldn't control themselves when they would turn into smoke, but over time they gained the power to control it. And as you can see, basically that's the general idea. They get some cool normal stuff, some nice resiliences, bonuses to saving throws and things like that. I mean, obviously you're smoke, so that makes a lot of sense. As you go through, you can read some of the jutsus. For the most part, you're probably going to be a ninjutsu-based person. You don't have to be. You can definitely make other things work because of your resistances. You could probably make some kind of like hybrid tank thing, but for the most part, ninjutsu is going to be your bread and butter when it comes to this class or clan. And here we have the Kashu Clan, or Kashu Clan. That just sounds too much like the nut. But nonetheless, if you can see the picture down here, this is the girl from the Sasuke retrieval arc in which she had her flute and was able to use auditory genjutsu. So that being said, if that doesn't tell you, you are kind of locked into being genjutsu base here with this clan. But hey, some of them are like that. It's pretty cool. Obviously, the main concept is you are going to have your instrument, and with your instrument, you're going to be able to use it to do certain things with your genjutsu, amping it in different ways. The thing that I really like is your thing that you use is actually also your weapon, so you do get kind of some cool, interesting properties with having your thing that helps your auditory genjutsu, and it also lets you use it. So that's really neat. If you want to read through, it's some genjutsu things, pretty much anything that you saw her do in the show, you are able to do. So hey, if you want to be someone that can use instruments to maybe summon 3 absolute behemoths, go ahead. The one thing I think is actually sick, and I like that they did this, is that the summonings for these are actually on B rank, which I think is really cool. Most of the really large summonings are A rank, but it's nice to get them prior to A rank, and then A rank is rather her just absolute, like, hey, just big takedown genjutsu nonsense. Now, with the Keton Clan, these people are a homebrew custom one, so this doesn't have technical relation to Naruto, but this is one of the ones that I think actually fits in really well. It makes a lot of sense, and that's that they have a plasma technique, which is a combination of fire and lightning, and with this plasma, obviously they have a few different powers. One of the cool things is they're really based around the idea of light, so they have a free action that they can do of turning something into like a lamp that illuminates light, which is really cool. They have this energy overflow, which basically just gives them stuff to help them pump out more damage. If you want to read through here, you can. They have a few resistances to like dazzled and different light style effects. So hey, if you want something that deals with plasma and has a very light-centric form of combat, Keton's a great choice. Next up, we have the Konjoki Clan. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't recognize the Konjoki Clan, but it also doesn't say that it's a custom homebrew, so hey, if you know what they're from, kind of timeline of Naruto, let me know in the comments, because I'm not really sure. But going through it, their concept is that they have a steel release, in which they can do a couple cool things. They can form different weapons, which is always fun. I think being able to form different things that have that are weapons out of whatever your power is always fun. And it talks about gaining your steel release, how you increase the damage die of certain jutsus and things like that. So honestly, overall, a pretty straightforward clan, and you can see they have different armor things, projectiles. Again, it's like pretty basic stuff. Whatever you would imagine you could do with a steel type power, it's got it in here. So if you like the idea of being a steel release style person, hey, this is it. For another original one, we have the Shi Hou Clan, I believe is how this is going to be pronounced. Now, these are pretty cool. Basically, the concept here is you are deriving from a clan that they believe to come from the first sage, or the first one to kind of, master being a sage shinobi, that kind of thing. And what you get with these guys is pretty unique. You get transformations. So there's no custom clan jutsus or unique clan jutsus that you get, but rather these transformations where you can transform into different types of animals, and then if if your campaign really goes late in the levels, you can start to turn into dragons, Pegasus, Phoenix form. Lots of really cool, sick things. So overall, very cool clan. If you want a clan that can kind of just work with whatever you want to do, whether it's ninjutsu, whether it's weapons, whether it's fighting, tank, whatever, and just have these like kind of cool bonus things that you can do on top of it, hey, this is a really solid choice for it. For the Synthetic Human Clan, this one's pretty easy. You are basically one of the kind of test subjects of Orochimaru, so you don't necessarily have an exact direct clan, but rather are a created person. It's pretty fun though, some kind of unique things. You get snake speak, which is fun and can be very silly. One really cool, quirky thing you could say is the immune system feature that you get, which basically gives you advantage like against poisons and things like that. That's not all. It even does specify against viruses and diseases on your body. And then once you get higher leveled, if you've ever successfully rolled against a virus or disease, you are then considered to be immune to it because your body has already beat it. It already knows how to beat it, which I think is really fun. It can kind of, you can abuse some things that your DM might try to throw at you. And then their kind of big shebang is the corrupted chakra mode. If you've watched any Boruto and you've seen Mitsuki's kind of transformation semi-sage mode type thing, that's basically what this corrupted chakra mode is. It's kind of like a slightly toned down sage mode. And they get some fun snake jutsus, nothing too crazy. So hey, if you want to be a creation of Orochimaru, you got your opportunity. So with the Vesper Clan, I really like what they did here, okay? It's a custom homebrew one. They're basically like vampire-esque things. They don't have necessarily the blood side of it, but all of the other aspects. And as you can see, they get some good dark vision. They have some different abilities that help them. What I like is you can kind of lean to either be Genjutsu or Taijutsu. I think Genjutsu is probably going to be the more powerful of the two, but you do have some things that work with Taijutsu as well, especially with overpowering might up here at the top. One thing they have that I really like that I want to point out is the immortal feature at 15th level, where you become truly immortal, unable to age any further unless you willingly allow yourself to, which I really think is so sick. I think more clans and more like D&D things in general should focus a lot of future levels at, rather than just buffing you to the point of like, hey, yeah, we get it, it's dumb, you're overpowered, but giving you things that like help the character growth aspect, that give you powers that help you in interactions, or that help your character live to be infinite in this case, and things like that. But I digress, personal stuff. You can see some of the clan jutsus. I'll go ahead and bounce through. You're really powerful at night, you're very vampire-esque, and you are an edgelord. If you like it, go for it. And last but certainly not least, we have the Yamada Clan, which if you don't know is from an anime called Hell's Paradise. I actually just recently started watching it. It's one of Green's favorite, he loves it. But the Yamada Clan has some really cool stuff. They are going to be weapon oriented. If you haven't seen the show and you don't know what like the Yamada Clan is from the show, the whole concept here is you're using a weapon. And there's a lot of cool, very unique things you can do. I'm not going to get super into it. The long story short is you can take multi-attack things and turn it into one single big attack, which I think is super sick. I think it's really cool. Again, I'm not going to get into the nuance of things you can do with it, but it's very unique. You can see they have some custom jutsus, so if you want to be a swordsman and you really want to focus on kind of having that big final cut, this is a great clan to do it. To give you some background, in case you don't know, the Yamada Clan are like executioners, so they're known for one solid swing to take the head off the body. That's what you're looking to do. And then for those curious, just so you know you're not missing anything, the rest of the book is just clan feats, and then after you get through all of the clan feats, you get to the bloodline charts for their system of if you're trying to do like a dual clan person, this is, you know, the chart that you'll use to apply points to get certain things. So, you know, I'll keep kind of scrolling. If there's one that you really want to look at, pause. And honestly, I just recommend going to the actual Discord and finding this document. You can look through all of this really fun, insane stuff yourself. So there it is, all of your cool, unique clans. Like I kind of talked about before, a lot of these were from some of the homebrew stuff, so some of y'all may have seen literally all of these, and this isn't super new to you. But for those that don't keep up with the homebrew side of things, expect to have these. I think they said hopefully by December. It's not like a for sure guaranteed timeline because, you know, things come up, whatever. But that's kind of what they're aiming for in getting the new book up and going with the new clans and everything. And now for what some of you have probably been waiting for, where I've been, what the plan is, and what the heck is going on. So thank you to anyone that stuck around this long, and just to give you some context, pretty recently and based on my last video that you've probably seen, I recently went to Las Vegas. I say recently, it was about a month and a half ago, and I competed in something called the World Series of Board Games. Whenever I went to compete for that, that took up a lot of my time. I started really focusing because I really wanted to win. I like playing a game called Dice Throne, which again, if you go watch that video, it'll give you the better explanation, but that took up a lot of time. The other thing was I was moving and going to a college, so that was a big part of it, taking away time. Beforehand, I was actually just doing college online, getting my basics done, getting my associate's degree, and then moving on to start working on my bachelor's. I do still really want to do YouTube and everything. It's just it kind of got pushed to the side because I was dealing with a lot of other things, and then I just wasn't managing my own time well. I'm not trying to like excuse myself if this was, you know, something that I should have been more willing to do. So that's everything that's been happening, but I am more excited than ever. I mean, between new clans to talk about, new things to talk about, me and Greed have already discussed some possible video ideas that are not what you've seen before on the channel, but I think are going to be really fun and a good time. So I'm not going to announce anything because I don't want to, like, you know, confirm anything. I don't want to set any kind of schedule on myself right now. I, to be honest, have a schedule in my head that I want to start following, but I'm not going to put it out there because I don't feel good about putting a schedule out there before I know I can stick to it, because I don't want to promise y'all something that won't come up. So thank you all that have been in the Discord this whole time, hanging out, like talking. Thank you to some of you who have actually messaged me individually with different things, but then have kind of mentioned like, hey, I miss your videos, like, you know, we really like these, we really enjoyed these, where have they been? That meant a lot to me. That was really cool. It was really cool seeing y'all like genuinely missing the videos. It showed me I have something, you know, kind of bigger than myself, and I was like creating our own little community. So nonetheless, again, thank you all. I am hoping to get back into it, and I will see you all on the next one. Peace out.